The dwarfs didn't... Oh, nope, that's a typo. Wow, off to a stellar start. Thank you, iPhone. Notes app. Australia, what is good? I've been crouched behind that DJ booth for like 20 minutes. But when I saw it, I knew I had to do it. Oh, baby. Whew. It is a delight to be here in your wonderful city, in your wonderful state, in your wonderful country. It is my first time in Perth. I am delighted to be here. Thank you all so much for coming and making the show a possibility. I know that I was unable to do a show out in Perth last time, and after literal years of getting, when are we going to do the show in Perth comments, I'm here to right the wrong, and we're doing a show here in Perth, and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be great. I have not seen much of your city, mainly just because I flew in, got there late, went to the hotel, prepped for the show, and got here, but everything I've seen, great. Trans-Perth, phenomenal, good train system. Been tapping on, tapping off, walking on roundabouts. There's all sorts of walkways and stuff. It's been good. Food that we've had here is good. Perth, 10 out of 10, no notes, things are great. But you're not here for me to say vaguely nice things about your city. You're here for a discussion of some chapters of a Heroes of Olympus book in the Percy Jackson saga. And I always am joined by a guest for these shows. And I'm joined by someone, not just any old guest, but someone that is from Australia. Please make some noise for our guest tonight. Tonight, it's the matinee. This afternoon, it feels like we've been transported to the evening with the lighting in here. It's great, I love it. But make some noise for today's guest. It's Polly Burridge. Hello, hello. Yeah, you got to do the whole big scenic route around the DJ booth. Yeah. Welcome. No, I've got it. I'm going to get it. Don't worry.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm going to grab my laptop, which I had under here because I was still prepping show notes and stuff, and my hairbrush.
It's very important. Nice being in a city that has a healthy respect for the great game of Aussie rules football.
Yeah, you were giving me a primer about the heated rivalry.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the HBO show.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the hockey boys, they're kissing, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's great. Loving Perth, first time here.
I can't believe it's your first time here.
I know. I have not had a reason to fly over here, but it has convinced me to come back. Let's just say that.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many people laugh as I fix my hair. Look. I gotta do it. Many people, when I was saying that I was basically just flying from Sydney to Perth for the show and then I'm taking a red-eye home tonight, people are like, oh my God, how would you do that for such long flights? And I'm like, this is very normal America flights. Like under 5 hours, not a problem at all. Do you have any idea how long I was on a plane to get here to this country?
Yeah, I was saying to my dad, because he was like, is he sure he wants to do that? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, he already flew here, so I don't know how he's ever going to make it to Perth if it's not now. So, yeah.
The other thing that is an underrated element, and if there's any people in the crowd who have kids, our daughter, great on planes. But even with someone who's great on planes, it's a lot. People were, asking me at the Sydney show, are you really going to do, 5 hours each way, blah, blah. It's like, you're talking about a flight with no child on it?
Where I can just sleep?
I would do a 20-hour flight. Like, come on. And my kid's good on planes. I can't even imagine people who have kids that are not good on planes. Yeah, my daughter is a saint. She slept for 10 hours of the 14-hour flight to get to New Zealand. She's the best. Yeah. And even me, I'm like, it's kind of nice. Just like walking through the airport just with my backpack.
No pram. Yeah, no random children's book.
Gosh, I do.
Well, I mean, one random children's book.
Sure. Yeah. No, someone at the Sydney show did gift us Possum Magic, which is really good. Yeah, really good children's book. It's awesome. Yeah, I think I have to eat a piece of pavlova in town before I leave so that my tail shows up. But no, I love it. Our daughter loves it. It's great. So that's been a big one. And I love pram is so good. Pram is way better than stroller. Pram is so much better. We call them strollers. Way less fun. The pram, I'm fully adopting it. keep saying it to Kelly. Like we went to the beach and was like, where should we leave the pram? Ah, just feels elegant. Like it feels like a fancy car. Like, oh, where'd you leave the pram?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, the BMW pram? Oh, it's great. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, we're here to talk about books. Let's do that. So we're going to be covering chapters 12 through 14 of The House of Hades. This is now your second time on the show.
It sure
so I get
is.
to ask you the second time guest question, which is, what cabin would you be in?
So reading the initial 5, I did not feel very strongly connected to any of the gods. So I wanted to find a quiz that actually told me. It wasn't just like, what do you prefer? Swimming in the ocean, reading a book, thinking about death.
Yeah.
So I found one and I got Iris.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah, I really liked it because for people that don't know, my day job is a graphic designer, which I feel like does fit into the messaging vibe. And also I have a podcast. So it just kind of like works perfectly.
That's really good. I like that a lot. There was someone who I had on the show recently. Oh, Jillian Blum on a recent TV show episode. She also said Iris. And as a reporter, I was like, okay, that works. It's fun. I like when people have the minor god selections. That's great for Heroes of Olympus as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So let's get into chapter 12. Chapter 12 is a Leo chapter. It's called Leo. We'll obviously retitle it. Where we last left our heroes, they were chasing after the Kirkopes, the dwarf twin monkeys who have stolen all of the stuff off of the Argo 2. You know, just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
So this chapter opens with, quote, "The dwarfs didn't try very hard to lose him, which made Leo suspicious." And yes, I can fully understand. If you're chasing someone and they're not trying very hard, that would be so unnerving.
You want me to come to the lair? Oh, okay, sure. But I do need my back. So sorry, I swore.
Oh no. We'll bleep it. It's okay. Is anyone here under 18? Did they let? Okay, it's a bar, so you might be okay.
That was way too quick. I'm really sorry. I'll try my best. I am Australian, guys. I swear.
But anyway, yes, if someone's stolen your stuff. So they never go far enough to leave Leo's vision, and they just keep leaving a trail of wreckage and items out of Leo's tool belt that almost feels like breadcrumbs, like they want him to follow them. But he keeps chasing on, and he curses every time his pants fall down, because if you recall from the last chapters, his zipper was stolen off of his pants. In Sydney, we already railed on this for minutes.
I have more thoughts.
Yeah, what are the more thoughts? Because I just don't see how it can happen.
Yeah, this is, okay, so these books are set in like, let's say the early 2010s, maybe late ooze, if we're going to go with that. The main...
I'm sorry, did you just call it the late ooze?
Late ooze.
Is that an Australia thing?
I guess so.
No.
Okay, I guess not.
Maybe it's a Sydney
Maybe
thing?
it's a Sydney thing.
The
I
late
don't know.
ooze. I mean, I do like that better than the aughts. The ooze, yeah.
The main type of pants that people were wearing then are skinny jeans. How the hell are skinny jeans falling down?
That is interesting. Yeah, I mean, but if there was anyone not to wear skinny jeans, it would be Leo Valdez. He seems more like a Jinko jeans thing. I don't know if that's made their way down here, but like the
they're really big. Really big.
Baggy, like capri-length short jeans. He just feels like someone who would be wearing like cargo pants or
But then
carpenter
also,
jeans.
they stole the zipper.
Yeah.
They didn't steal
They didn't steal the button. Wow.
Like, if your fly is down, your pants aren't going to fall down.
Right. That's a really good point.
It's been frustrating me for a week.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I did. Yeah, you're right. Unless it was the zipper with the button, but I would never say that it's...
Like
here's the only thing. If it's the type of men's like slack where you have the little like metal like hook
Clasp
thing.
type thing. Okay,
right.
maybe.
But I assumed Leo, I guess they haven't said what pants he's wearing, but I assumed
okay,
it's
we
jeans.
both have the UK version, and that says trousers. And trousers is like a catch-all UK term.
Yeah, they probably
so
just say
I don't
pants.
know. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, look.
Dear Rick Riordan, I have a very important question. Leo keeps chasing, cursing every time his pants fall down, and I wrote a minute. This better end up with him going shopping for new Italian pants.
Yeah.
We kind of get there. Leo sees 2 ancient stone watchtowers that are higher than anything else around, and the Kirkopes scale the tower on the right, and then they disappear into the back of it when they reach the top. Leo guesses that they may have gone inside, but he's not sure looking at the structure. So he figures, okay, I'm going to have to follow them up. He can't think of a way to get up there until he sees an older woman leave a grocery store. And then he gets a bit of an idea, and he's shocked to find that he has euros in his pockets, had them left over from previous adventures. And I just find this funny because Annabeth in The Mark of Athena mentioned that the Daedalus laptop could print off credit cards. Did she not just give everybody a credit card? is she holding out on them? Like she's mom and she's like, you haven't earned it yet. You're not old enough.
No, exactly. Leo, wouldn't trust Leo with a credit card. I think she's actually made the right decision here.
Yeah, because this raises the question that I did when I mentioned that. Like, what bank are they tied to?
Yeah,
Whose account is this?
Even a debit card wouldn't really make sense. Like, are they just like Visa prepaid cards? But even then, where's the money coming from?
Oh my gosh, it's those, I don't know if you guys have them here, the vanilla gift cards or whatever.
Oh, no.
It's like the brand that has taken over making Visa gift cards. And I'm sure you get the same thing over here, though, where it's just like you get it as a gift and you're like, oh, damn it. I got to find somewhere where this can work.
I currently have 2 in my wallet. Like,
Kelly and I have a bag in one of our closets that just has all of like the different gift cards and then the amount left on them. And it's like, because a lot of these debit card things, it's like you can't combine it with other purchases or, you know, it can't like get off some of it.
Very specific amount, yeah.
Right, so we'll just like have them here and it's like, oh, are you buying something that's going to cost less than $3.87? Well, maybe take the card. Like,
when is that ever going to happen? I don't know if it's just because everything is expensive in Australia, but I don't know the last time I spent less than $3.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that conversion rate would be like what, like less than $4.50.
Yeah,
for you?
and even a coffee is more than that. So like,
yeah, the coffee's been great for Kelly. I'm not a coffee drinker, but the coffee's great here, and the fact that your coffee prices are the same as our coffee prices, meaning that they're cheaper and way better, delightful.
No.
Kelly's been getting flatties left and right. Oh, loves it. Now, Leo gets this idea. He's got the euros, and he's planning to go in the store, and he does find it funny that the Kirkopis took all of the valuables and the shiny things, but they didn't take his cash.
Which I have to assume he just has notes then, because that doesn't seem like something they would want. But coins, then maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's just the bills. Yeah. But he's an American, so bills are all we care about. Now, he doesn't need to be able to read Italian to know that a tube that he grabs in the grocery store is potassium nitrate.
No, it's specifically toothpaste that has potassium nitrate in it.
Okay, that makes more sense to me because I was like, what is potassium nitrate? Like, sure, I can like put together.
Look, I went really deep on this last time. I'm going to go deep on it again. Leo is too overpowered.
Yeah.
Like, why does he know this?
When I was reading this, I just thought Polly's going to hate this. Yeah, I mean, so it is also known as saltpeter. It's a white crystalline salt used widely as fertilizer. It's also in fireworks and gunpowder. Like, I don't know.
And why is it in toothpaste?
That's what's wild. I don't know why it would be in there.
Like maybe like very specific whitening toothpaste?
Right, which like dentist alert for everyone. Don't get whitening toothpaste. It is not worth it. It's bad for your teeth and your enamel and everything. Shouldn't do it. It's not going to actually help you out. You heard it from me, your dad. But the thing that I've learned also with being here is that like different countries put different stuff in their things. Like what's in your sunscreen, I know Australia takes sunscreen very seriously, is different than what's in ours in America, which is probably just like crap. But how could he know that Italian toothpaste would have it in it?
It said that he could like sense it. But why can he sense that?
Yeah, I guess it's part of his mechanical thing where he can like put his hand on something and like feel. Yeah, it's a bit much. I wrote on my notes, 1, how, 2, why is this in the grocery store? Because I didn't clock that it was toothpaste. Yeah. I thought it was just like potassium nitrate in a tube. Then he also grabs charcoal, sugar, baking soda, matches, bug spray, and aluminum foil. So I was like, is he making a blowtorch? What is he making here? And also, why did he buy matches? He can make fire come out of his fingers.
Make it less sus, which it's already pretty sus.
Yeah, like why would you need to do this? This seems completely unnecessary. So he also then buys a laundry cord to use as a belt. And I was like, okay, maybe this Italian grocery store doesn't also have clothes in it.
Yeah, like that's not uncommon.
Sure. It's not like
Woolies
with a big W attached to it.
Very good. It's very good.
God, I love Woolworths. It's great. It's so delightful.
But if you did go to the Metro one here, you probably wouldn't be able to find a belt.
Oh, I don't love Woolworths Metro. I love big honking Woolworths. I need a big full Woolworths.
It's an anti-Coles podcast.
I don't know that I've ever been to one, but I definitely people did ask because I posted for New Year's. I was like, I'm back in Woolworths. I'm so excited. And someone's like, why do you like Woolworths? I just love all the different things. But also when we were in New Zealand, I don't know if they do it in Australia, they're doing the bricks promotion.
Yes.
Where they give the little farm Lego people.
Yeah.
We were all in on bricks. It was great. We collected so many. And we were there as the bricks promotion was ending. So they just started like giving them away. They were giving us like piles and piles of bricks. It was delightful. So we're big Woolworths fans. Please sponsor the pod.
duopoly in Australia. So it's either, well, in New South Wales it is. I don't know if it's the same in every state, but it's either Woolworths or Coles. And it's basically just dependent on where you live.
Okay.
So like the reason you haven't come across Coles is because you haven't stayed in the suburbs.
Yeah, I feel like there was one somewhere where we were staying, but the Woolworths was equidistant.
Yeah,
we're
going to Woolworths.
Yeah,
we're
brand loyal.
We like green.
We love
don't
green.
like
the
red.
W? Come on,
Yeah.
it's lovely. Yeah. But anyway, Percy Jackson. So he buys a laundry cord to use as a belt, but then also some Italian junk food to disguise more of his suspicious purchases. I want to know which junk food. I'm such a fan of getting snacks in international grocery stores. C&C also all of the burger rings and Tim Tams we have consumed. So I'm delighted that he got some snacks, but I would have loved the next step of like what specific. Oh no, we do learn. We actually do learn what they are. Yeah, one of them.
It sounds like he takes a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know if it's all savory, if he went for a bit of sweet as well.
Ooh.
Are we going to get in a few chapters' time they're actually eating them on the Argo too? Is what I'm looking forward to.
God, it'd be good. It'd be good. I would love it.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So the cashier asks him questions in Italian that he does not understand, but he checks out successfully from experience. You can do this. You can get it out of a grocery store where they don't speak English, just with context clues and vibes.
Yes.
He gets to working on his contraption that he's going to make, and his fire powers speed up what otherwise would have been a days-long process.
This is why they had to take pseudoephedrine off the shelves. Because of Leo. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. This would be, I think, for the American people listening after the fact, Sudafed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this felt very much like in Breaking Bad when he goes to Home Depot.
Well, I was
and
gonna
he's
say,
buying
like,
all
are we going to get the
stuff.
gritty reboot with Leo just Breaking Bad? Like, this is where that was actually going to end up.
It's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. Jason never joins up with Leo, making Leo wonder if he's still tied up, because that's where he last left Jason, or if Jason is roaming the streets trying to find him. No one else from the ship comes. Narrator Leo lets us know that Leo also fills one of the Archimedes spheres with chemical powder, and that's it. So who knows what's going on there? He goes to the tower and he starts to climb the stairs. He gets stopped by a ticket attendant, and we get this exchange from the book. Seriously, Leo asked? Look, man, you've got dwarfs in your belfry. Or is it belfry? Belfry? I think it's belfry. In your belfry. I'm the exterminator. He held up his can of bug spray. See? Exterminator. Molto buono. Squirt, squirt. Ah! And I can only imagine that he did it with this pinching hand motion. And I just think that this is so funny, given Leo Valdez a couple of chapters ago asked, is chow even a word? Now he's going, molto buono. Like, that feels like next step beyond, is chow a word? Like, how do you know very good but not hello? I don't know. I also saw someone on the Sydney subway wearing a shirt that just said chow on it, and I wanted to take a picture of her so badly.
Oh, man.
But I didn't want to look like I was taking a picture of
beautiful,
someone.
yeah.
And also this was wild. She was just like barefoot. Like she had,
That's
you know,
pretty
like
standard in
Crocs.
Australia. Yeah.
Okay, someone did this on the plane too, where they're like wearing Crocs and they kicked it off and
Yeah.
just like had bare feet.
Yeah.
And that was there. And I was like, I don't want her to think I'm taking a picture of her feet. I just want to take a picture of the chow t-shirt and then post ha 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 ha. But I ended up not doing it.
yeah.
But yeah, that was like the day after
That's
the show,
pretty
which was
funny,
funny. But
yeah.
yeah, for him to know molto buono is wild.
I don't know.
So he then pantomimes a dwarf melting in terror, and he says, quote, which for some reason the Italian didn't seem to understand. Maybe his pantomime work isn't very good. I'll have to give him some pointers. Now, this ticketing guy demands money. Leo has no cash left. He offers a bag of Fonzies, one of the snacks, with little hope, but the worker takes them and says, Avanti, which feels just like yay.
Yeah, I think it's just, or go maybe?
Maybe Avanti. Oh, because it's always like a travel thing, right? Avanti
Yeah.
translation means come in.
Oh, yeah,
okay, great.
yeah.
Now I have looked up Fonzies. According to the internet, they are a popular Italian oven-baked cheesy corn puff snack, similar to Australia's Twisties, but without artificial coloring, giving them a pale yellow hue
They need to be bright orange.
and a distinct savory cheese flavor. That's great. Oh, and they're known for like you have to lick the fingers. Okay, so they're kind of like cheese puffs. I like that
Yeah.
every country kind of. Yeah, they're
it's
like
the same
Cheetos.
branding. They look
Oh.
they're the exact same branding as Twisties, but
They've
just
got
with
the
Fonzies. Yeah.
So it's like how you guys have Smiths instead of Lay's.
Yeah.
Where it's like the logo's close enough where you're like, that feels like Lay's.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I did. Someone at the Sydney show brought me an and Kelly a bag of Malaysian cheesy snacks like this called Super Rings. And they were kind of like the consistency of burger rings, but they were cheesy instead of big burger flavor. Or is it big burger taste? Big burger taste? A flavor? One of the two on the bag. But they were really good. And I just kind of like that every country's got like some sort of like cheesy puff snack.
If you were the attendant, what would you accept for it in terms of currency instead of currency?
Okay. Let's see. I'll try to keep to Australia ones.
Yeah.
From the foods I've had, I do. What are the chips that you got? The like black something deli?
Red Rock Deli.
Red Rock Deli, yeah. I would take those. Shapes, love shapes. Shapes are great. Burger rings I do enjoy, but I don't know.
Would you just take them for Kelly?
For Kelly, I'm taking for Kelly. Any flavor of Tim Tam. I've gotten really good at Tim Tam slamming this trip around. Last time it wasn't my strongest suit. I've really mastered it this time, which has really leveled it up.
Did you end up trying mint slices?
Not yet. I need to.
Okay.
Yeah. Kelly and I bought too many snacks, and then we were gifted a bunch of snacks at the Sydney show that we were like, let's put a pause on snacks until we get to the next city. So we might revisit making a snack run in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Sorry, in Melbs. But yeah, there's quite a few. What about you? What snacks would outweigh?
I'm a
Cayman?
sweet tooth. I love chocolate. I tried the Crunchy Marvelous Creation for the first time last night, and it was really, really good. Not for no free ads, but I would. Yeah, probably that. Yeah.
I was introduced at the Sydney show to Mars pods.
Yes.
And those were good. So I could see myself doing that. And I saw that there's also other candy bar pods. There was like Snickers pods.
Yes.
That has me very interested. And then there's a bunch of other American snacks. So yeah, I would gladly take snacks.
Food. I would
over
say.
the thing. Like I totally get why this guy did it. The museum's not gonna know. They're not gonna know. Who cares?
You don't need the job. It's fine.
Yeah, this is great. So Leo starts ascending the many, many stairs. He is thinking that it would be just his luck for the twins to leave once he reaches the top. He does reach the top, and the room there is a broom closet-sized room with 4 barred windows and treasures stored all about, including Piper's dagger Catoptris. Leo thinks that he's alone until he looks up and he sees the monkeys hanging from the rafters playing upside-down poker. They then throw the cards into the air like confetti and applaud when Leo makes eye contact with them.
One of the key components of poker is you need to be able to put the cards on a table. How are they doing this?
Here would be my guess. If it's like an exposed beam rafter situation, what they could be doing is hanging from their feet and then bending up to like put the cards
and then the 5 cards are on the rafter.
Yeah, on the rafter, and they're like down under with not this down under, but down under with their hands, and then they're like when they're getting rid of them, put it up. Or if they're, I guess, especially if they're playing Texas Hold'em. Do you guys have that here?
Yes,
I don't know if you call it like a difference.
No, it's
okay.
Texas Hold'em.
Still Texas.
Yeah.
It's not like Central Australia Hold'em.
Yeah.
But you like have the 5 cards out, and then you just have your 2 cards that you hold. So that would be the most likely.
You need to put the deck somewhere.
Again, I think the deck is on the rafter, but then they'd have to keep like bending up to look down and then bend.
Like they could have picked a better game than poker to be playing. Granted, Leo probably can't actually see what they're playing, and they could be playing anything else. But it was just like, you can't play that upside down. That's just not a game that's
if they're using chips, that would be a mess also. Now, Leo did call it zero gravity poker. I assumed it just meant upside down, but maybe they have the magic ability to have cards and stuff floating in the air.
Yeah, it's still not established if they're magic or not.
Yeah, because we determined in the last one that we think with the screen, it was just them at a camera and not them like magically coming through the screen, but they haven't ruled it out yet.
No, so maybe this is the reveal.
They can levitate cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Akmon is delighted. He bet Leo would follow them. Pasalos thought that he would be wiser and would not follow them. So they drop down, and then Pasalos kicks open one of the window grates and suggests that they make Leo climb the dome of San Luca next. Leo stops them to say that they forgot something shiny on the Argo too, and they don't believe him, but then he holds up a grocery bag, and they're intrigued. Even though nothing shiny is inside, at the moment he's just like, and they're like, the possibility of shiny. So he takes out weapon number 1, which is a flashbang made out of dried chemicals in aluminum foil. He then sets off his homemade fireworks, and his Archimedes sphere just starts shooting out smelly smoke into the sky. And Leo lets us know, since he's done so much with fire powers, he is very comfortable with smoke, so this doesn't really bother him.
Again, too OP. What do you mean he's immune to smoke?
I feel like he's in this weird thing where he doesn't have like one cool super big power. I guess shooting fire, but it's still not as intense as Jason summoning lightning from the sky or Percy like channeling a giant wave. So
it just feels like you can kind of guess Percy and Jason's powers, it'll all of a sudden be like, and so now Leo can suss that there are chemicals in this
Yeah.
thing.
Right. I
It
guess.
just keeps being adding things that just don't feel like it makes sense for Hermes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or Hephaestus.
Hephaestus, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, Leo, you need to stop with getting new powers. Like you have enough now.
Yeah, he's just got like all the little minor things to try and add up to
A big thing.
one giant big thing like charm speak. Yeah, I agree. It's becoming a lot of like, well, oh yeah, I can do that too. Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But it does kind of track for Leo what I would call like the most immature of the bunch, because this reminds me of when I'm playing pretend superhero games with my nephew and we'll be doing things. And if I'm ever the bad guy, I will always, because I'm a good improviser, I will always try to like thwart him and throw him different curveballs.
Yeah.
Not in like a mean way, but if he
yeah.
has a particular superpower, then I will try to have some sort of counter and I see what he
Yes.
does. And most often in times, he will just be like, oh yeah, I can do that too. And I undo it. And I'm like, valid, very valid, very valid.
Also,
Yeah,
but
if he's-
Leo is not 3.
Right, yeah. Leo's older. Yeah, he's not a toddler. He
Yes.
is a teenager. So Leo grabs his tool belt from Akmon because they are, coughing all in the smoke and stuff. And then he ties up the twins with bungee cords. And he goes through the treasures. He takes back Catoptris. He takes back his grenade prototypes. He takes back dozens of other things that they took from the Argo 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me. And Akmon begins to beg him not to take the shiny things. Psalos asks if they can make a deal. They will give him 10% of the treasures if he lets them go. Leo refuses. Then Psalos bumps it up to 20%. And then lightning destroys a window and Jason flies in and Leo describes him like he's electric Peter Pan, which is very cool. It does kind of let us know how gracefully he entered
he can fly,
the window. And Leo informs him that he has wasted an awesome entrance because Leo has already thwarted the enemies.
Which is very funny.
Very, very funny.
Yeah.
Leo asks Jason how he found him and Jason goes, the smoke? Which is good.
I'm a big fan of this duo.
I really like it.
They're good buddies,
They're
yeah.
very fun. Jason also notes that he heard popping noises. So he asks, were you guys having some sort of gunfight? And Leo goes, something like that. And then tosses Catoptris to Jason. Now, yes, this is a very cool move, but that's not very helpful because I wouldn't say that fireworks going off is similar to gunshots.
Okay.
But maybe I would because I think I've told the story on one of my podcasts before. Oh, if I haven't, this will be how Barb and Joel find out because they do listen to the newest Olympian. I may have only told this one on like one of the other ones they don't listen to, which is okay. I have too many. When I was living in Oakland, California, I had a friend visit for 4th of July weekend. And on the 5th of July during the day, there was a drive-by shooting on the street that I lived on.
Right.
And at first, we thought it was just people setting off fireworks. They're like, kids, it's July 5th in the morning. They're setting off leftover fireworks. And I had made breakfast for me and my buddy, and he was out on I don't think he was out on the balcony, but my roommate was. And then we just saw 3 like dust things shoot off of our brick wall in our outside thing, and 3 bullets went into our wall. Like, so we heard the pop, 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 and then we just heard like doom, 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 and like 3 like poofs of brick came off of the wall. So then I called the cops because I was just like, hi, I feel like I should tell you that this happened. Like, nothing, like we saw 3.
Fine, but like...
Yeah, we're good. We saw 3 dudes run down the street and then start hopping fences in people's backyards, like that scene in Hot Fuzz where they're just like going. So I just called and I was like, hey, I think there was a shooting on our street. And they seemed like not very concerned. They were like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, the bullets are like in the wall. Do you guys want to come? And they were like, what's your number? We might like give you a call back for more information. I was like, okay. Like, it feels like a crime happened.
I'm too Australian for this story.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, it's unfortunately very common in America because we have not gotten rid of guns yet. I'm so jealous of your country. But anyway, yeah, Mom and Dad, that happened. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to be worried. Here we are.
Anymore.
I've lived there for over 10 years. It's fine. I made it out okay. It was great. Oakland was fun. I loved living there. It was cool. So, I was going to say that's not the same, but I guess it is the same. But I guess for Leo to say something like that, he should clarify, I'm not hurt, no one's hurt.
Yeah, like, we don't have a gun, Jason. I don't know where you think
Right.
I got a gun from.
Yeah.
I don't know where you think the Kirby's got a gun from either.
It's in Italy, where else? Yeah, I don't know. Leo, much like the cops I called, too chill about this. So then Leo keeps going through the bag because he remembers Hazel mentioning that they were supposed to find a treasure to help them with their quest. And this makes more sense because I don't know if I had just misread it or if it was because there were months between when I covered the chapters and then continued on in the book, because I did it at the Manchester show and then months went by. I thought they had to get information out of the twins. I thought they were going to be like some of the other people they have to visit where they reveal some sort of thing that helps them. So this whole time when they were being really rude and taking things from them, I was like, how are these guys going to become good and helpful? This makes way more sense.
It does. And it's weird because I did read them in one big hit. So I also was thinking these guys are going to become helpful.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like Leo's just interpreted what Hazel said differently and Hecate wasn't clear exactly on what the helpful thing would be. But this made a lot more sense. We're like, oh, okay. Like, it feels very quest. These 4 chapters? Yeah.
So it definitely tracks more.
Yeah.
So he's looking through. He's not able to find something that seems like the winner. He has a couple of contenders, though. One contender is a damaged bronze astrolabe, and the twins encourage Leo to take it when he examines it. They say it was built by Odysseus, and Leo goes, the Odysseus? And they're like, yeah, that guy from the Odyssey.
Yeah, the guy that Christopher Nolan's making a movie about.
Right. Oh, very excited about that.
So it'd be really interesting if Odysseus becomes a main player in this book. I didn't clarify. I am up to the same point as Mike, so I'm not spoiling anything.
No.
And you're up to the same point when the movie comes out, and it just like coincides. Because that happens with you a lot, where random stuff coincides with what's happening.
It's so good. I think Rick and Disney must be paying attention to the pod.
Yeah.
Because for me to go immediately from finishing Mark of Athena straight into the show without having to do anything was truly magical.
Yeah.
Truly fantastic. Leo is shocked that this was built by Odysseus. He asks how it works, and Acmon says, oh, it doesn't, which I thought was funny. He adds that he thinks it's because of some missing crystal. So Psalos chimes in, my biggest what if, should have taken a crystal. And I first thought that was Psalos saying that, but he's quoting Odysseus. Apparently Odysseus said that in his sleep when they stole it. And that does feel very Odysseus from everything I know about him from Hades 2, the video game. Because I do not remember much from, I think I only read excerpts of the Odyssey in high school. I don't think I've read the full thing start to finish. So my more into knowledge with Odysseus is from Hades 2, where he is delightful and a very fun little side character. Leo takes this astrolabe. He's not 100% sure why, but he figures he should take it, but he also figures this isn't what Hecate had in mind, so he continues to look. Another contender of the item that could help them is a leather-bound book with a gold cover, and my instinct here is this is a book of magic. We don't actually get the reveal in this chapter or the next few about what it is, but it just feels like if Hazel needs to learn magic, if she's learning it from some sort of magical book that teaches her how to do it, this feels
helpful.
Like it could be it.
Yeah.
So, especially if Hecate is the one sending them for something, that's my guess. And I'm glad I can't see anyone's facial.
No.
The way the lighting is working, I can just see the outlines of your heads. They look great.
But there is no
way to see anyone's face, so we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you could be onto something there. It is interesting thinking that they are planning on giving it back to whoever it is. So if it is a book of magic, that might not happen, and it's going to cause more issues.
Unless this person could teach them magic
which
and they get a
would
cool
be good.
training montage about how to learn
with
magic.
Hazel, that would be sick.
Oh, because then it could be like some old 1940s music. What was hype up music like 80 years ago? So, I have ideas, but that'll derail the show. So Leo asks what it is, and Acmon replies, nothing, meaning something. It's definitely something. Acmon says that they only took it from him because of the cover being gold and shiny, and Leo asks, who is he? And the twins exchange nervous looks, and Pasalo says, a minor god in Venice, really, it's nothing. Yeah, sure, bud. Okay, yeah, that's really making me feel like it's not anything. Jason reminds Leo that Venice is where they're supposed to go to next, so this feels even more likely, like this is the thing that Hecate wants them to get, given that Hecate told them to go to these guys and then go to Venice, so feeling like they're onto something. Narrator Leo goes, Leo examined the book. He couldn't read the text, but it had lots of illustrations, scythes, different plants, a picture of the sun, a team of oxen pulling a cart. He didn't see how any of that was important. This has huge tarot card vibes, like, come on, man. But if the book had been stolen from a minor god in Venice, Venice, the next place Hecate had told them to visit, then this had to be what they were looking for. So feels right.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. The description was, and obviously not a minor god and not a Roman god, but big Apollo vibes. Like the description, which I don't know if it's somewhat related to Apollo, if it's one of, or anything like that. But I saw that and I was like, that's giving Apollo. And we haven't seen much of Apollo since the first series. So
Right. Yeah, that could be fun. Scythes, plants, sun, and oxen pulling a cart feels farmish to me.
Yeah.
So but again, it's a minor god, so it wouldn't be Demeter.
Yeah.
But I could see it being someone in the like agricultural space.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, if they're going to like an authentic Italian farm, oh my God, the tomatoes. God, so good. Kelly and I did a vacation to the Cinque Terre in Italy, and the tomatoes were so good that you could just eat them like apples. Like you didn't need to do anything else with them. You could just like bite into oh God, they were so good. Oh my gosh, incredible stuff. Anyway, Percy Jackson. Leo asks where the minor god is located, and Akamon freaks out, saying that they cannot bring the book to him because if he knows that they stole it, and Jason finishes, he'll destroy you, which is what we'll do if you don't tell us, and we're a lot closer. And then he presses his sword to his throat. Jason is great. I love Jason. I'm all in on Jason. I'm going to be sad when he dies, as I'm predicting. But I like him a lot. I think this is fun. I like when he kind of turns on action hero in an 80s movie vibe. I think it's very fun. So the twins give in. They reveal the location. La Casanera, Calle Freseria. I don't know enough Italian. I feel
like Leo right now. I'm like, okay, sure. Okay, cool. Is these even words?
The House of Nera, and then Freseria, like a frieze. I don't know. I know Latin, not Italian, so it's different. But the twins beg Leo not to share the information with this guy that they stole the book from him, saying that this minor god is not nice. And Jason asks, who is he? And Pasalo says, I can't say. And Leo says, you better. And Pasalos explains, no, I really can't say because I can't pronounce it.
Which is really
There's too many syllables. He says, try something. And then Akmon says, Truto something. So I don't know. This is one of those things where if you do know the god and you're a Greek mythology nerd,
like, oh my
you're
God,
like, oh, well, they're going right.
Yeah.
The only try or Truto, like the only thing, but they said too many syllables. It wouldn't be like Triton. We've already met him before. It doesn't feel like the right vibe. So I don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
I'm sure people more plugged into mythology do, but this person's not in Hades, the video game. So I have no idea who this is. The monkeys then burst out into tears. Jason asks Leo if he wants him to send them to Tartarus. Akmon begs him not to because it may take weeks for them to reform. And I think it's funny that they are all distraught about being dead just for a matter of weeks. I don't know.
It's just inconvenient.
Yeah, like just a couple of weeks. Like that seems pretty okay. Like it's when we die, that's it. 3 weeks or so, you'll be okay.
Look, we'll find out a bit more about Tartarus in the next 2 chapters. I wouldn't particularly want to go back there, so I'm not that like.
Yeah, that's where Leo's at. Basically, Pasalo adds, well, if Gia even lets us, she controls the doors of death. She's going to be displeased with us. And Leo thinks, I don't know if I really want to axe these dudes because he kind of loves and can relate to them being goobers who play pranks, which is very fun. But he also thinks of Percy and Annabeth in Tartarus, and he feels guilt giving them the same fate. I'd also like to use this opportunity to say I didn't mean to make any sort of commentary about the afterlife by saying you die and then that's it. All I meant was your mortal life ends.
Yeah. Yes. We are not monsters, so we're not going to end up in Tartarus. That is all she's saying.
Leo thinks that Gia would mock him for sparing them. Then he thinks of Gia's voice in his dream saying that no one can slow the Romans in their march on Camp Half-Blood, and then he gets an idea. And once he said that, I was like, oh, he's going to use these dudes against Octavian? Yes!
So good.
I need this to happen in a way where we can see what they do.
Hey, we have the screens. As long as it happens at Kafka.
That's true. Yeah. Either it needs to happen on the screens when they're on the Argo 2, or it could be a thing where someone dreams and sees it in a dream. I don't want it just to be a thing where Octavian complains about it whenever they confront him.
You said them? It's like,
no,
man. I want the exact detail of how they annoyed him because we need it.
Because they're for sure going to take his knife that he uses to cut his teddy bears open, and he's going to be really upset about it. Do they also steal his zipper? Or do they go for the button this time? Like, what do they Do they
Which,
steal?
again, more important than the zipper.
Definitely more, but yeah, I don't know. I want to see it. That's all. That's all I do know. I really, really, really want to see it. So Leo says that he is going to offer them a deal, and Akman goes 30%, which I genuinely laughed out loud. It was very good. Leo says that they will leave all of the goodies behind, except for the astrolabe and the book, which they will give to this minor god, but they won't say how they got it. And Jason is like, Leo?
What are we doing?
Which I fully get as someone who is not reading the narration in his mind, because it is a wild deal for Leo to make, to be like, all right, here's this sweet deal. We're going to give you everything that you want, except for these two things
that seem useless.
One that you don't care about, and one you only care about if we tell the guy. But don't worry, we're not going to tell the guy. And Jason's like, this is not how you negotiate. You got to plant the flag, plant what you want, and then let them come to meet in the middle. Leo says, we'll do this. We also won't kill you. We will let you go free, but you must do a theft/disruption mission for us and swear on the river Styx to follow our instructions. So they swear, with Akman stating, I love harassment, which out of context,
terrible.
Be careful. They ask, where do we go? And Leo responds, ever heard of New York? And that is the end of this chapter, which I have retitled. I'm trying to go with something that Leo would say, and this feels very of the Leo oeuvre, but I have retitled it, I am thebomb.com.
Oh.
What,
it's true, that is very Leo.
What have you retitled chapter 12?
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your wares.
Wow, well done. That's really good. Yes, applause deserved. That's fantastic. Wow. Very good. We have a little bit of time to do, chapter 13 is super duper short. So let's do chapter 13 and then we'll do intermission and then we'll do chapter 14 in Q&A. So chapter 13, it's called Percy. So
I bet
we've got
you're
Percy.
ecstatic.
Yeah. So this is now the fourth narrator.
Yeah.
So if it is following the standard format so far, that's the lock. He's our final narrator, meaning we're not getting Frank still. So we've got Hazel, Annabeth, Leo, and Percy.
Yeah. I love Frank. I'm sorry, I'm sad.
I love Frank. And also we get no Jason either.
Yeah.
Leo returning was wild to me. I was very excited that Hazel's back. Annabeth made a lot of sense. Leo, I was like, nah. Not that I dislike him, but more than just like we're in a full book. Yeah. And then Percy, always excited.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because if we're going to have Annabeth and Percy be on a completely separate thing where there's two stories, we need it to be like a 50-50 split.
Yes.
It can't be a 25-75.
It'll be interesting to see. It could be a situation where we have Annabeth and Percy the whole time, but then the out of Tartarus people switches each iteration.
Yes.
I hope.
That would be good. I wouldn't want less Hazel, but that's okay.
Like, I would like to hear what everyone has going on, because it just feels like we haven't heard from. I know obviously Piper narrated in the last book as well, but like it just feels like we haven't heard from those three for ages.
Yeah.
And I want to know how they're feeling.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. Like we don't know. The next one, it couldn't be Hazel. Maybe it's Jason, Frank. We'll have to see. But it was Percy. So of course, the first thing I wrote in my notes, as I always do when it returns to Percy, is I wrote, my boy! So stoked. And just right away, like Rick, he's just so comfortable doing Percy narrations because the opening line of this chapter is, quote, Percy had taken his girlfriend on some romantic walks before. This wasn't one of them. They're following the Phlegethon, which is the coolest Greek word to say.
Yeah.
The Phlegethon is great. I remember when they first get you to the Phlegethon in Hades 1, the video game, and Zagreus in his very cool Zagreus voice is like, the Phlegethon. It just sounds so cool to say Phlegethon. Just the right combination of consonants. Like the PHL is really fun.
And rare.
Yeah. How many words are phlegh with a PH?
Is it just phlegm? Is that the only other one?
But and then phlegm is so gross because the ending.
Yeah.
Phlegm, but Phlegethon is, it's so good. I guess you get like FL noises like flavor and flour, but I don't know. I can't think of any with a P. Phlegethon. Oh, it's just so majestic. Name your horse Phlegethon. So they're following the Phlegethon and they're traversing through all of the tough terrain along the way. And I had forgotten because it had been so many chapters and for me so many months. They're trailing Kelly with an I and the other in Pusai. Yes, my rival. I like Kelly with Y. Not I. Narrator Percy says, the heat from the river baked Percy's skin. Every breath was like inhaling sulfur-scented fiberglass. When they needed a drink, the best they could do was sip some refreshing liquid fire. Yep, Percy definitely knew how to show a girl a good time. And this is where I really feel like Rick is just back in it. Like, returning to Percy's narration feels like putting on a nice, cozy, comfy blanket that you know how thick it is.
Place possible. Like, you couldn't be in a worse situation, Percy, but it still just feels like home. It's like, oh, it's Percy.
It's Percy. It's all good. Yeah. I even wrote wrote this in my notes before the last line. Once he just said the best they could do is sip some refreshing liquid fire, I was like, oh, great, Percy. And then the next line of he definitely knew how to show a girl a good time. I was like, oh my gosh, it got even better. Rick, so good. What a talented author. Annabeth's ankle is now fully healed, which is great. Her cuts have faded. She has her hair tied back with a torn piece from her jeans. And Percy thinks that she looks great despite, quote, looking like a homeless person. I'll be so excited when he stops doing this.
Yeah.
Stop making homeless people jokes, Rick. I get that it's like a 2010s thing, but I will be so stoked when those don't happen anymore. Because you could have used any other comparison that doesn't have any sort of yikes vibe.
Reading that's not where my mind went. I was like, Commando, like a whole bunch of different things. And then it was like homeless person. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have gone with like art teacher or like something else. I don't know. Yeah, I'll be excited. But again, if the worst thing of an author of the YA series is that he, pokes fun at homeless people every now and then.
We're doing okay.
Yeah, given where I used to be, I'll take it. Narrator Percy says, quote, so what if they were in Tartarus? So what if they stood a slim chance of surviving? He was so glad that they were together, he had the ridiculous urge to smile. So cute. So cute. And like, I get this. There have been times where Kelly and I have been through some terrible either travel situations or whatever it is. But if you are together, it's like, man, you think of how bad it would be if they aren't there, and then you're like, at least I'm getting time with you.
Exactly.
Because I'd be so stressed if anyone else was here with me or if I was here by myself. Ugh.
Yeah, for him to say it's not romantic, I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. But it's also like, how much time have you guys been able to actually spend together?
Yes, that's what I realized. Yeah, this is
rare for them. So it's like, Percy, I know you're just enjoying it, so just enjoy it. Like it could be you'd be down there by yourself, or she could be down there by herself. So yeah,
it's an interesting thing. There's so many people that are fully bought in, as they should be, on the Percy and Annabeth relationship.
Yes,
but they don't really have a lot of stuff. Like, it's just like the very end of the book, and then the series ends.
Yeah.
It's the end of book 5. So really, I guess when people are big Percabeth fans, I'm assuming there are people who continued on, because just their interactions here, it's just like very like cute, coupley, they've always been together kind of things. Just like the cuddling and the checking in on each other and all this kind of stuff, and the way they talk. Yeah, the forehead kiss. Like, it's very like, aw. And I feel like you are right. We haven't gotten a lot of that in the main books. No. So for this to be in the sequel series, it's great. It's so fun. So Percy also feels better physically, even if his clothes look pretty rough. He's hungry, he's thirsty, and he's scared, but he won't tell Annabeth he's scared because he's a man. But he has overcome the hopelessness of the Cocytus River, so that at least is in his past.
Yes.
He has no sense of time, but they just keep following the Impusi, who are not the fastest, and they don't seem like they are in the biggest rush. The only time that they did show a little bit of hustle was when they were going after a carcass of some kind for a cool snack. And it makes Percy worried that they would scarf them down without thinking twice if they discovered that they were following them.
Which, I mean, yes.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
they would probably take their time because how much Kelly hates Percy.
And also, I'm sure that fresh demigod tastes better than
carcass of weird monster that's just born. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Now, we get in the book a little bit of a recollection of the first Impusi encounter in the first 5 books. This would be Battle of the Labyrinth. And Percy yearns for the Kronos War era of his life. That feels like the good old days, which is very funny. He thinks the 3 fates must be spinning his and Annabeth's futures with barbed wire instead of yarn, just to see how much a set of demigods can tolerate. Now, the Impusi disappear over a ridge. Percy and Annabeth approach, and they see that it is a cliff's edge. The demons are descending the cliff face like they are mountain goats. I like that that is always the universal animal. There might be some other animal that can climb, but it's always like, it's mountain goats. Like, before they said mountain goats, I thought in my head, like, mountain goats, and then the book said mountain goats.
Look, we have a lot of weird animals here, and I can't even think of a really climby one. So that's like specifically to mountains. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
You guys definitely do have some weird animals here. The Sydney Zoo was wild. I was there a couple years ago. We didn't go this time around because it's a little farther out. We just took the baby to one of the smaller ones.
Yes.
But we went to the big proper one a couple of days before. The lions escaped. I don't know if that news made it over here. Yeah. From late 2022. But we were there, and 2 days later it was like, yo, the lions are gone. And we're like, oh my God, good thing we were there a couple of days ago. But yeah, wild side. What's the like dinosaur bird that's behind an electric fence? Like
Cassowary. That is my biggest fear. That's not like I'm not putting that up. That is my actual biggest fear. It's cassowary.
Yeah.
Like I know people think that's insane, like because you're not ever going to come across one, but they petrify me.
But here's how you know it's serious, because Kelly and I appreciate this about Australia. There are some aspects of it that we say Australia is not idiot-proof. So like you'll be on a hike and there'll be a fence that just says like, hey, this is a cliff's edge, don't get too close. And that's it. Whereas like in America, there'd be like fences and all these things to like make sure you don't do it. Or they had a sign, like some of the places in Australia and New Zealand have things like near bodies of water, and they're like, hey, last time someone tried to swim over this, they died. Don't go swimming here.
Yeah.
The current is too strong. Now, on the flip side, that does mean there are certain things where like we have to be very careful with the baby, because you'll just be like on a dock and there will be no railings. There's just like nothing. You could just like plop into the water. It's like, okay. But that is different, because then if you go to a zoo, or even we went to the wildlife thing in Sydney, the cassowaries, they are behind an electric fence. And then there's a sign that's like, don't mess with these guys.
Yep.
It's like, if Australia says don't mess with these guys, oh my God, they must be the most vicious beasts on earth.
I genuinely don't even know why they have them in zoos. Like, we don't need to see them. The fact that they exist is weird enough. Like, it's fine. Just put them back in the wild,
And
please.
they're honestly usually really like far deep.
Yes.
Every time we've been to one, they are like deep in the forested pen area.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're even like kangaroos or they're out and about and doing fun stuff. And like, I don't know a single kid that would be like, oh, cool. Like maybe a teenager, but I feel like any child, like when we were walking up with our baby, we were like, if it comes, we should just leave, because she'll freak out. It's a dinosaur.
That being said, we have a game show here called Hard Quiz.
Okay. Is it a difficult quiz?
Well, I'll explain it to you backstage.
Okay. Great.
But they had a kids version of it this year, and one of the kids' special categories,
hard quiz.
not as hard quiz. One of the kids' special categories was cassowary. So there is one kid out there that's really into cassowary.
I mean, it does feel like the thing that kids would be excited about, because it is like a dinosaur and kids love dinosaurs, but it's one that's like an attainable dinosaur. You got that. You got bin chickens, which are for sure dinosaurs. Yeah, I get it.
Which are not even native, but anyway.
No, that was the funniest thing. Oh man, we love a bin chicken, and our daughter loves pointing at birds that aren't bin chickens and going bin chicken. We're like, no, that's a cockatoo. It sounds like a child dying. Yeah. That's a kookaburra. That's, for whatever reason, in every single Australian children's book. We have
because
3.
They're fun.
They are. It's just like we have 3 Australian children's books that we've been gifted, and they have 100% a kookaburra is in this book. Rate. They're in every single one. All right, anyway, Percy Jackson. So narrator Percy says, Percy's heart crept into his throat. Even if he and Annabeth reached the bottom of the cliff alive, they didn't have much to look forward to. The landscape below them was a bleak, ash-gray plain bristling with black trees like insect hair. The ground was pocked with blisters. That feels like a British word. I feel like the American PDF would not have this.
Oh, okay. What would you guys call a blister?
I mean, but pocked. No, sorry, not blister. Pocked.
Oh, okay.
Blisters. I mean, pocked does feel like a word to go well with blisters, so I could see it, but I don't know. It just feels like the U.S. would say like the ground was littered with blisters.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, it's Mike from the future here. Sherry let me know that the U.S. version says that it was dotted with blisters, not pocked, and that feels more like American English to me. Anyway, back to the podcast.
But the ground was pocked with blisters. Every once in a while, a bubble would swell and burst, disgorging a monster like a larva from an egg. Suddenly, Percy wasn't hungry anymore. And that's how you know it's bad. Much like if Australia has an electric fence and a sign that says don't mess with this, if Percy Jackson isn't hungry anymore, baby, this is bad. This is gross.
The insect head trees, it really intrigues me, because I just can't visualize that.
Yeah, I
don't know if we just have a lot of insects in Australia that I'm like, there are so many insects to pick from. Like, what does that mean?
I guess it would be, I'm trying to think, like, when you look at an insect under a microscope and it's just like very like long,
spindly?
scary. Yeah, or like, like in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man where they zoom in on his fingerprints and they show the little like jaggedy tiny hairs. Like maybe it's like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Even though a spider is not an insect. But anyway.
Yeah, it's a legume. Yeah. Newly reformed monsters are making their way toward a cloud of black fog, and that appears to be caused by the Phlegethon meeting another river, which Percy guesses is the Cocytus, which would make sense, like cold river, hot river making smoke as they collide. Percy does not want to go there because he dreads what could be within the fog, but he knows that they must, and he tells Annabeth that he wishes that they could fly. Annabeth says, quote, remember Luke's winged shoes? I wonder if they're still down here somewhere. Do I remember the winged shoes? The shoes that stomped on my heart? How could I forget? So angry. I don't want them to get the shoes just out of spite. I've been betrayed.
But these two chapters are very like, guys, remember that thing that happened?
A lot of greatest hits vibes in this, which does make sense both for them doing this, because when you're just on a big hike and it's boring and terrible, you have to be like, remember that thing? Remember that thing? And it also helps for people who may have skipped the first 8 books.
Yeah.
Narrator Percy in response goes, Percy remembered, and then describes them in case you missed it. Percy says that he would settle for a hang glider, and Annabeth says, not a great idea, and points up. And then you see winged creatures that Percy posits are Furies, and Annabeth says, yeah, either Furies or something similar. Tartarus has thousands of creatures like this. Don't love that. Yep, and then the book ends the chapter with the following, quote, including the kind that eats hang gliders, Percy guessed. Okay, so we climb. He couldn't see the impusae below them anymore. They disappeared behind one of the ridges, but that didn't matter. It was clear where he and Annabeth needed to go. Like all the maggot monsters crawling over the plains of Tartarus, they should head towards the dark horizon. Percy was just brimming with enthusiasm for that.
Woo!
Yay! That is the end of chapter 13, which I've retitled again. I'm trying to go very much in the Percy voice here.
Yeah,
and if this was in the first 5 books, I feel like it would be titled, I Am Prevented from Hang Gliding. What would you retitle chapter 13?
This is a cliffhanger.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. But it is because it's also intermission. Ooh. So if you're listening to the podcast after the fact, we'll take a break here for our mid-roll break. Have I named this one yet? I haven't named this one yet. I got to think about it. Ooh. I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, a bunch of episodes have already come out. So I have named it. But currently, haven't named it yet. Ooh. But let's all say goodbye to the podcast people. Goodbye, podcast people.
Hello and welcome to the House of Headlines Shubio edition. Yes, I'm in the Shubio proper, recording this one on Sunday afternoon while Kelly and the baby are out on a little stroller walk. So I was able to do this in the proper Shubio. How we feeling? How we sounding? I'm feeling great, hopefully sounding great. And let's get into updates with the podcast because we got a couple of things going on. First, the next live show for the News Olympian is coming up this weekend. If you're listening to this the week that it comes out, we're going to be in Vienna, Virginia on March 15th with Johnny Frolickstein to break down chapters 27 and 28 of the House of Hades. I've just begun reading those chapters in prep for the show, and I'm super stoked about it. There's going to be some really fun stuff to cover. So if you want to secure your tickets, head on over to thenewsolympian.com/live. We have some merch surprises that'll be at the merch table, so you're definitely going to want to come through. And then we also recently have added 2 new shows to our run in April. So we are going to Albuquerque, New Mexico on April 7th now. We are then going to Berkeley, California on April 9th. Then we'll be going to Boise, Idaho on April 11th, and then to Denver, Colorado on April 12th. Now, that Boise show is a 4 p.m. matinee, an all-ages matinee, and the Albuquerque show is 16 plus. The Boise show is fun because after that show, it's at an improv theater, and I will be doing the improv show that takes place after our performance. So at 7:30, there's an improv show with CSZ Boise. There's a comedy sports show. This is the short-form sports-themed improv comedy show I did for years in Houston and Seattle, and I will be performing with Nathan Cox. So we'll do our show, and then we will also do that improv show. You can get $5 off tickets to that show if you use the code YayMike in all caps. So that's so exciting. I can't wait to do another CSZ show. It's been literally years since I've done one. And then later in April, we'll be in Atlanta on the 20th and Charlotte on the 21st and Raleigh on the 22nd. I'm making progress on getting that Atlanta show streamed. I have a company that I think will work. I just got to work through the logistics, but we should be able to do the thing where we live stream that show and then do the replay. And the plan is to cover chapters that include chapter 36. I think we would do 36 through 38 if I'm looking at my schedule correctly, but we will definitely be covering chapter 36, which I know is a very important chapter. And our guest for that show is going to be Ashley Latimer, who you might recall used to run Rick's social media, ran the social media for The Lightning Thief as Mick's Thief. And we had Ashley on the show in the past. Now she's gone on and is a proper author. So much fun stuff. So if you want to get tickets to all those shows, you can go to thenewsolympian.com/live. Now, what's going on besides live show stuff? We've got new merch in production. If you go to the Patreon, patrons got to see a sneak preview of what it looks like, but we've got a new pin in the works. So I'm excited for that to become a reality, and we'll put it up on the merch store when it is a reality. I've been adding more stuff to the Patreon, like director's commentary. We did another Q&A live stream. I'm going to be doing bonus episodes. So I'm trying to make good on my word of posting more stuff on the Patreon. And speaking of merch, we've got a couple fun merch things. So reminder, we've got those custom TNO glass bead bracelets bracelets that we did in partnership with a TNO listener, Morgan, who makes these really nice friendship bracelets. You can go to thenewsolympian.com/merch and scroll to the bottom, and there's a link where you can get yours. And it's made with glass beads in TNO colors, and then there's gold beads that say Anyway PJ. There's a gold pigeon. There's a gold trident. They're really cool. Support local small business folks just making stuff with their Etsy's. So there's that. But also, if you go to the official merch store, the one that brings you to the DFTBA merch store, you can go on the DFTBA site and you can get discounts for merch for some of my other podcasts, Horse and Meddling Adults. They're doing a spring cleaning sale, and we've got some stuff that's been on the merch store for quite some time. And the items that are on spring cleaning sale for those shows are the Sup Nerds It's Basketball shirts and the Idaville long sleeve baseball tees that we made inspired by one of the illustrations that is in an original Encyclopedia Brown book. So you can get those, I think, for $10. So it's pretty cheap. So get those, because basically once they do the spring cleaning, anything that is not sold, they're going to ship to me, and then I will only be able to sell at live shows. They won't be available online anymore. So you can get to that by going to thenewsolympian.com/merch, going to the TNO store, and then searching for Horse or Meddling Adults. That's probably the simplest way to do it. About this episode in particular, there's a part where Polly made a really good joke, and I don't think I recognized it on stage because I probably couldn't hear it. It's sometimes hard on stage to hear the people with the live shows because you've got the crowd laughing, and then you've got the speakers and your own voices coming through, and it's sometimes more challenging than if you're doing a studio recording with headphones and stuff. But there's a part where I was talking about going to the airport and not having to carry around all of the kids' stuff, and I listed books as one of the things, and Polly goes, well, one kid's book you have to carry around. And I didn't give that joke the proper shine, because that's hilarious, because yes, I was carrying around the book that we were covering for the show. Very, very funny stuff from Polly. So I want to make sure everyone knows that I know that that was a great joke. And listening back to Sherry's edit, I was like, oh my gosh, Mike from the past, you should have given that more credit. I clearly didn't hear it because it's a really funny joke. Now, I mentioned the Patreon, so I want to give a shout out to the folks who have joined the Patreon most recently. Shout out to our newest God tier patrons, Joseph Spaziano and Riptide's Pen Cap, and shout out to our newest Demigod tier patron, Naomi Riley. Thank you all so much for your support. May Hermes bless you that if you are trying to line up multiple modes of transportation on a long trip, that everything just works out. I swear Hermes was blessing us yesterday. We had to take a multiple train and multiple type, like subway to a path train situation to see the women's national soccer team. And multiple times we made our connection by under 2 minutes. Just things lining up perfectly. I hope that blessing is upon you as well. If you're all caught up on the News Olympian and you're looking for some new content to consume, you are in luck, because I make a whole bunch of content. I make a whole bunch of podcasts, and I think you would like the podcasts that I make. One of the shows that I make is a podcast that I have co-created with Sequoia Simone, who you will recognize from this podcast. It's called Professional Talkers. It's a new show. We launched it last year. It's really fun. It's a comedic advice show. We've had a lot of awkward conversations over our lives. So what we do now is we give conversational advice, and sometimes we do special grab bag episodes, and our next episode that is coming out soon is about weddings, and we've done it from every perspective of a wedding. We answered patron questions, we answered listener questions from social media, and we just went through this whole grab bag of wedding stuff, whether you are hosting the wedding, attending the wedding, in the bridal party of a wedding, all these sorts of things. And it was really fun, and we covered a lot of things. I have had a wedding, so I was able to give my perspective. Sequoia has been in the bridal party of many weddings, so Sequoia was able to give her perspective on lots of different things. It was great, and it's coming out really soon. So if you want to hear that and all the other episodes of Professional Talkers, you can search for Professional Talkers wherever you listen to your podcasts, wherever you're listening to this, including Patreon. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/Professional Talkers. Now, unless you're listening on Patreon where you get access to ad-free episodes, you're going to hear words from review sponsors and make it feasible for me to be a full-time podcaster. Some of those ads will be read by me, and others of them won't be. The ones that aren't read by me are inserted locally. So if you live in Granada, don't be surprised if you hear an ad in English, but maybe one with a little more relevant ads to being in the Caribbean. But once those ads are complete, we'll get back into this episode of the News Olympian. Hope you all had a good intermission. I missed you all so dearly. Let's get into doing chapter 14, then we'll do Q&A. We'll have a fun little time. So, chapter 14 is called Percy. We'll obviously retitle it. It opens with, quote, "As they started down the cliff, Percy concentrated on the challenges at hand, keeping his footing, avoiding rock slides that would alert the Impusai to their presence, and of course, making sure he and Annabeth didn't plummet to their deaths."
Good checklist.
Yes, priorities. These are good things to keep in mind. Annabeth asks for a quick break halfway through. Percy feels foolish for not noticing earlier that she needed a break. They sit down. Percy puts his arm around her. Very cute. She leans against him. Very cute. And she is so tired that she is shaking. Percy is also feeling a little bit rough, especially in the hunger department. He says that he would consider eating a carcass if they come across one like the Impusai did.
Which is so valid. Like, we're kind of assuming how many days it's been. It's probably like 3 or 4
Enough.
at this point. Enough where you're like, I can't even imagine being that hungry.
No. Oh my gosh. I was complaining about how the fact that the unnamed airline, Virgin Australia, that I was flying doesn't have like any like free snacks at all. Yeah. I was like, oh my God,
I know that that's not a thing from like Sydney to Melbourne or Sydney to Brisbane because that's a 1 or 2 hour flight. I was expecting the 5-hour flight to have some snacks.
Right. I was the most where I like just assumed I was like, this is such a long flight. Especially the way that people have been saying, like, what a long flight.
And
I was like,
they were doing the nighttime flight.
Yeah, I was doing the late one.
Yeah.
I was like, there's definitely going to be like at least some sort of a snack. There will also be a place for me to plug in my laptop, like a 3-prong charger. No, not even a USB-C thing. It was just like 2 USB-A ports. I was like, what year is this? And then also, maybe I was just not finding this. Do you guys not have like water bottle refill stations in the airport? You do? Okay, maybe I was just in a part of the Sydney airport where I walked all up and down the hallway and didn't see it, and then they started boarding, but I went in with an empty water bottle, and I was like, they'll probably give a lot of water. They won't be stingy about it. The little tiny cup of water they gave me, I like did 1 sip of it, and I was like,
please, can I have some more, sir?
I'm sorry, can I have the adult-sized water? So needless to say, I'm flying Qantas on the way home. But Virgin Australia sponsor the pod. So anyway...
Percy's starving.
Percy's super hungry, like I was. So he would go after a carcass. But as the narrator, he says, quote, at least he had Annabeth, which is very sweet. He knows that they will find a way out. They must find a way out. And they will. He says he's not often thinking about fates and prophecies. And I was like, are you sure? It's kind of like your whole thing. But he believes that they are meant to be together and they are meant to make it out of this ordeal alive.
Correct.
Can people see my face? Am I like blocking my face with my laptop? I'm going to like tilt it down. I don't want you to be like, wow, I had a great time looking at Mike's MacBook sticker. Yeah.
Trying to figure out what it says.
It says, a tattoo. I have stickers on my MacBook I regret. And it's from...
That's an Adam Mamawala joke.
If you like that joke, it's a joke from my buddy Adam Mamawala, who's very funny and just released a new 6-minute set on YouTube that you can go listen to and laugh at. I watched it this morning. It was great. So anyway, he thinks they're going to get out. They're meant to do it. They are destined to do so. Annabeth says, look, things could be worse. We could have fallen into the river Lethe and lost all of our memories. So sweet, so cute, so coupley. I love it. We then get a little Son of Neptune refresher in case you don't remember what the Lethe does. And then we get a Demigod Files refresher because that's also where the Lethe showed up the first time in this series, which I was delighted about.
Another Leo pointing at screen moment from in these 2 chapters. Yeah.
I love that the spin-off books have become more and more of like an established referenced thing. It makes me very happy. Annabeth asks, what was that Titan's name again? And Percy goes, Iapetus? It meant like the Impaler or something. And she laughs and explains, no, I meant the name you gave him after he lost his memories. Was it Steve? And I'm screaming, Bob!
I have to say, Steve is very adjacent to Bob. That was not a bad guess.
No, it is in the, it's like when anyone calls me Mark, I'm like, four-letter white guy name that has an M and a K in it, you're there.
As someone whose name is Polly, I've had every iteration of this.
Yeah, what do you get?
Poppy, Holly, Molly. The biggest one I get when I'm ordering coffee is Paulie.
Oh.
Which is not a name. Like, I'm not a parrot.
That's great. That's very fun. This reminds me, we were with a friend of the pod, Dottie James. She was visiting in New York City, and we went to get coffee, and she obviously has a very British accent.
Yes.
So when she saes Dottie James, it's more like Dolty James. So she ordered a bagel at a bagel place for Dottie, but they gave it to her and they spelled it Dolty. Like Dolty. Which means like idiot. Yeah. And I was like, I guess it does sound like she said Dolty James, but I like how does
that's
the person
not a name.
Right? Like, how does the person? I've never been a barista, so I get you probably just like go and you don't worry about it. Especially there was a long line. It was a Saturday morning at a bagel shop. It's very busy. But like, how do you think when the name Dottie does exist in the United States as a name? It's like an older like grandma type name,
but still a name.
Still a name, Dolty. Or how do you not ask, I'm so sorry,
I'm
what
sorry,
did you
Dulcie,
say?
if you're in the crowd tonight.
Bagel for idiot? Like, yeah, wild. So I'm sorry, Paulie. You get that. So I loved that we're getting the Bob the Titan return. Percy explains his name was Bob. Annabeth laughs, Bob the Titan. And I had mentioned that there's some characters, such as Kelly the Impusai, who I would not necessarily have guessed would have made a return.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have had Bob the Titan in my top 100 of characters that might come back.
Does he even come up in a Sporkle quiz? You would know.
If there was one about the Demigod Files, yeah.
Yeah.
But like Bob the Titan, I don't think he even got referenced in any of the
book?
main
No.
books. Like this is the first Bob the Titan main book. So for him to come back in the Heroes of Olympus is great. Like,
I would love to know Rick's file keeping, database search.
You mean lack thereof?
Yeah. Oh yeah, remember this character? I'm just going to randomly reference him now because it does feel a little bit like that. But then there's also a part of me that's like, it could be so in depth and so like, yes, I must remember who the Titan was from this book and just throw it in there.
I think he was probably right in the Lethe and blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, right, there was a...
I wrote about that before.
Yeah. Like, his brain is the same as Annabeth's, which is basically going, remember Bob? What about Bob? Percy smiles. His lips also crack because of the dryness, but it's cracking because his smile is so big because he thinks about Bob and what he might be up to and if he's still just this happy-go-lucky giant prancing about Tartarus, which, gosh.
Would be amazing if Bob actually comes back.
I know. Like, you can't talk about
Chekhov's Bob.
We need Bob. Now you've gotten my hopes up. Where if Bob does not show up, he can't just be like, haha, remember Bob? Like, no, Bob needs to be a crucial member.
Bob needs to provide some sort of help to opening
Yeah.
the doors of death. I don't know.
I would imagine. So if they have to defeat all these monsters, like
Yeah.
we're going to have to get some sort of allies. And I don't know who in Tartarus besides Bob,
Yeah.
would be an ally. Give me Bob, please. Percy looks out over the horizon and he thinks about how all of the Titans that he has bested, Kronos included, should be here. So he tries to shake off this thought. He kisses Annabeth's forehead, very cute, and says that they should get going. He wonders if the firewater will keep them alive or if eventually it will run out. It reminds him of the Tantalus situation. And I didn't remember this. Dr. Moya probably explained this to me in the myth episode, but that was years ago. But in the myth, Tantalus was stuck in a pool of water underneath a fruit tree and couldn't drink the water or eat the fruit. And
yeah.
that is way worse than just not being able to eat.
He, being in Camp Half-Blood was probably a piece of cake. Sorry.
It's very good. Very good. Yeah, it's always harder to like stare down
Yeah.
the opportunity of food
Yeah.
as opposed to just like being in a place where there is no food.
Yeah, I'm very easy to forget about food if it's not right in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I get really hungry and I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten. Should probably do that. Yeah.
Yeah. hmm Now, we then get a little bit of a Sea of Monsters refresher because Percy's like, oh man, I haven't thought about Tantalus in forever.
And all of us are watching the TV show, so we thought about
Yeah.
Tantalus about 4 weeks ago.
Yep. He's probably going to be coming back soon for
Yeah.
episode 8, I would imagine. But then Percy, as the narrator notes, that he would especially hate that punishment. Yeah, you've been talking about how hungry you are for the past 2 chapters. I totally get it. So then the book has this exchange. Keep climbing, he told himself. Cheeseburgers, his stomach replied. Shut up, he thought, with fries, his stomach complained. Percy and cheeseburgers, a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
So good, so good. And the narrator Percy continues, a billion years later, with a dozen new blisters on his feet, Percy reached the bottom. So he helps Annabeth down. They fall to the floor in exasperation. And then ahead of them are miles of wasteland. And the wasteland is filled with these larvae type situations where it's like the reforming monsters. Super duper gross.
Yeah.
The Phlegethon is to the right. There are cave entrances along it. And there are rocks jutting up like exclamation points, which makes me think, is there like a gap? Is there a space? Like, are they floating? Like, is it just the top of the
Is it like
exclamation
a
point?
Spanish one where it's like,
Oh, I guess it could be maybe there's like a big base and then a smaller
Yeah.
kind of thing. So maybe it would look like a joystick kind of
Yeah,
deal or
yeah,
something. Yeah. But then we get this gross description. Under Percy's hand, the soil felt alarmingly warm and smooth. He tried to grab a handful, then realized that under a thin layer of dirt and debris, the ground was a single vast membrane, like skin. He almost threw up but forced himself not to. There was nothing in his stomach but fire. I can't imagine throwing up fire. Like, given that when you just throw up regularly, it feels like it's burning.
Okay, yeah.
What if you had consumed fire?
so TMI maybe? I am someone that gets a lot of migraines, and so I've thrown up a lot of painkillers. That is the equivalent of throwing up fire. It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, not good. Wouldn't want it. Percy gets the feeling that they're being watched, but he doesn't tell Annabeth. Dude, look, man, you got to
Just
tell
tell Annabeth, man.
You got to tell Annabeth everything that you think of. She's the planning one. You have any sort of little thought, you got to tell her. Now, I understand that this is a book and we need fun surprises to happen, but dude, tell her.
This line plus the skin line makes me think that there is one big being that runs Tantalus.
That runs.
Oh, like that. Sorry, not Tantalus. Tartarus. Thank you. Just because it's like either it's a hive mind or it's like one big like monster. I don't know, but like there's too much going on where it's like one thing keeps triggering Percy, and I don't know.
Right. My only instinct was that it could be a Gia thing, but I don't feel like she would be.
Even. I think it's like something else.
Well, isn't Tartarus like Gia had offspring with Tartarus? Yeah.
Okay,
so
so
Tartarus like is itself
thing.
is like an entity.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like Tartarus, in addition to being a place, is also like a dude. So that's,
Which is
I
like,
guess.
how, I don't, there's so many questions.
Right. Like I've always been confused. Like we'll get into the mythology.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll talk to Dr. Moy about it at some point. But like it's always fascinating to be in the situation where it's like, yeah, so Gaia, sorry, I have to say it. Gaia, like, because I'm talking about different Gia. But like I'll read a different book, not this series, a different book that says Gaia and Tartarus had offspring. I'm like, how does that, how did she land?
It's not Annabeth, sorry. Athena's children are born from the brain. So
Right,
like,
she came out of a head. Yeah, we get real fast and loose with it. So yeah, that would be my thought. Is like Tartarus is a
thing
being
and a place.
Yeah. Now Percy continues on saying that he thinks it's not necessarily that they're being watched, that they're being sensed. Like something is aware of them. So it could be something where like Tartarus, the entity, has awareness of them, and Gia can communicate with Tartarus to know their whereabouts. We'll see. Now, narrator Percy says, quote, "The ridges above them now looked less like steps and more like rows of massive teeth. The spires of rock looked like broken ribs. And if the ground was skin," and then he pushes the thought aside, just thinking this place is creeping him out. I don't think it's just that the place is creeping you out, Percy.
No,
Like, there's probably some
use
validity.
your instincts.
Talk to Annabeth. She's so smart. Now, Annabeth looks out into the distance and says that they will be completely exposed while they traverse this. And then a larva emerges from the ground ahead, and it is a telekine. What's fun is that when I was typing this into my notes app, it autocorrected telekine to telephone. And I was just thinking of like, I guess it's more of the Gen Z fear, but Kelly as a millennial is also scared of this. Like, a telephone, I have to make a phone call. Because there's so many times where Kelly will be coordinating plans with friends, and I'm like, just call them. You all three are texting at the same time. Like, just call them. She's like, I don't want to call them. I'm like, just call them. Oh, but yeah.
Annabeth, it does seem like she wouldn't like to talk on the phone either. So
maybe she's the one she's like appreciates the efficiency. Like, let's just hash it out. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I just don't like stopping. It takes so much longer to type something out than it is to call them. I'm just like, if we're both talking back and forth,
just call me.
Like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I understand like getting an unprompted phone call.
But
like,
just don't answer those.
hello, has someone died? Like, yeah, I get it. But like, if we're both texting back and forth, like, let's just do this quickly.
It's like, you know that your mouth moves faster than your fingers, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Percy Jackson.
So a bigger monster emerges from a cave and then bites the telekine instantly, dragging it into the cave. Percy wonders how long it'll take to reform and thinks that it sucks that it basically had a 2-second long life in Tartarus. You come back, you're in the worst place ever, you immediately get eaten. That sucks. How long will it take you to reform? The book then says, quote, "He swallowed down the sour taste of firewater." Oh yeah, this will be fun. Percy takes one last look at the cliffs, but he knows they're not going back up them. They just got to go forward. He wishes that Frank was with them so that they could fly across, basically saying that Frank always comes in with the clutch and helps them fly, whether he's a dragon or a big bird or whatever it is. And I love that Percy loves Frank.
Same.
I think it's so cute.
I do agree with him here, but I do think these two are the only two that can do it together. I think if there was a third person there, it would immediately fall apart.
Oh, it's a little bit like if you have too many people to worry about.
Yeah, like I think maybe Percy and Frank together could figure out a way to do it, but I think it just needs to be Percy and Annabeth.
Yeah, Annabeth I think is also necessary because of her knowledge of
of
whatever they're about
everything,
to face.
which Frank doesn't have. So,
exactly. They are the perfect two people to have here. So he wishes that they could go across, but they end up just crossing. They stay close to the river, and then Percy notices some movement nearby, and he starts to think, and then he eventually remembers, oh, right, What led us down here was the Impusi. We've not been tracking their location. So he grabs Annabeth's arm and goes, the Impusi. And she goes, oh, right, where are they? And then looks all around. Percy's worried that they're hiding because they can't see them. Percy then draws his sword, and the Impusi, all 5 of them, form a ring around them. So they set up the perfect trap. They appeared from behind some rocks. And then the book ends the chapter with the following. Kelly limped forward on her mismatched legs, her fiery hair burned across her shoulders like a miniature Phlegethon waterfall. Her tattered cheerleader, it's pretty cool hair. Her tattered cheerleader outfit was splattered with rusty brown stains, and Percy was pretty sure they weren't ketchup. She fixed him with her glowing red eyes and bared her fangs. Percy Jackson. Oh, she cooed. Sorry, Percy Jackson. How awesome. I don't even have to return to the mortal world to destroy you. And that's the end of this chapter, which I've retitled, We Are Tantalized by Tartarus. What have you retitled this chapter?
The Valley Girls Return.
Yes, very, very good, very good. Well, that is the end of this portion of the episode. If you're listening to the podcast, we'll take a quick break and then get into Q&A. So let's once again say goodbye to the podcast people.
Hey, it's Mike from the future here. We're just going to take one more little break because this is a longer episode. We'll take a little break for some locally inserted ads before getting into the very fun Q&A, but we'll see you soon after this little break.
Let's get into Q&A. Woo! So, first up, I want to give a shout out to Natalie, who had emailed this morning at a different time. I don't think from Australia, just happened to be perfect. They suggested that the mid-roll break for House of Hades be called the House of Headlines, which I think is really good. I think that might be the winner. We'll have to see how with time and everything, but House of Headlines, really solid, really solid. Because I like to make them now not just about money stuff, because there's a lot of announcements and fun things. Yeah. Also, I did get a fun email from Jamie in the crowd, just all caps, subject line, no body, just phlebotomy. And I was like, yep, correct. That's correct. But let's get into these Q&A questions. The first comes from Rachel, and the subject line is, I drove 12 hours to be here in Perth, so obviously got to do this question. Rachel, where are you at? That's incredible. So here's the email. Hey, Mike, my name is Rachel, and I'm so excited to be here. I've been an avid listener since being told about your Potterless podcast back when I was in a local production of Puffs here in Perth. I currently live in Newman, which is a small mining town 12 hours north of Perth, and I'm here for the school holidays. I didn't realize how far south we were. I, for some reason, thought Perth was like a little more north, but I'm like effectively, unless I went 3 hours further south to the small town, I think called like Augusta or something, like that is the closest to the literal antipode from New York City. Like I'm on the most opposite of the world possible for this show, which is pretty cool. But here for the school holidays, my question is, if not the flying shoes, how would you like to get down the cliff? So I would love, I know Percy said hang gliding. I would love to do either hang gliding or parasailing, or if that's what it's called, like the parachute kind of thing going down. I have been on some hikes where you can do that going down. There was a hike in Seattle where it's called Poo Poo Point, which is a great hike. Great name, but also a great hike. It's only like 40 minutes out of the city. It's really good. It's not too hard, so you can bring, untrained hikers, like your parents can do it. And it's also really popular for people to go like hang gliding and paragliding down. Yeah. And when I lived there, I was like, they should have a service where you can like hike the top and then pay someone to like tandem go and do it. And like now that's a thing. You can do it. And I was like, I got to go back. But I would like to do that. There's also like, it's really big in Switzerland, and we did a couple of like lookouts and people do that. So I think that would be a fun way to go down because I've never done it and I've wanted to.
Very cool. It's still in my head from the previous chapter with Leo when Jason comes in like Peter Pan. It made me think of, this is such a tangent, it made me think of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when they say you look like Mary Poppins. And so to Mary Poppins down the cliff, I think would be really fun.
That would be good. Okay, this is from Jamie, who had the phlebotomist mention as well. Question for Pro Show. Also, spearmint milk is goat.
We might have to get some.
Okay, that sounds great. Is that you just like get it at a grocery store or? Okay, right, cool. Yeah. Hi, our question is, which AFL team, so this is your expertise
here we go.
Which AFL team would characters support? We chose West Coast Eagles for Jason.
Correct.
Port Adelaide for Thalia.
Correct.
Fremantle Dockers for Percy.
Correct.
Apollo kids would support the Gold Coast Suns.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie and Daniel. P.S. I've a kid-free night and have had a few. Sorry if this makes no sense.
No, you've done
don't
amazing,
worry.
Jamie.
When we were in Sydney last time, Solly. When we were in Sydney last time, Solly. That's a new one. Add it to the list. When we were in Sydney last time, Polly brought us, me and Kelly, to an AFLW match
Correct.
between the Greater Western Sydney Giants
Correct. And
the Gold Coast Suns.
Suns, yeah.
The two teams with the best theme songs, I would say. I don't know.
I don't know about the
We are the sons of the Gold Coast skies. Great, but nothing can touch. And I know that the team has had some like problems, and we can't really support the Greater Western Sydney Giants.
It's all right. It's all right.
But the Greater Western Sydney Giants song slaps
It's the best.
so hard.
It's the best.
There is a big, big sound.
And it does come from the west of the sound.
It's so good. God, that song rips. Do you have
Okay.
other AFL?
Yeah, immediately Nico is going for the Demons.
Oh, that sounds right. Sure.
I would say Hazel will probably go for the Devils just to get that like to Hades.
Okay.
Which
You
isn't
could
a
get-
team yet. There is a team that is coming.
New. Okay.
Yeah, from
What town?
Tasmania.
Tassie. That's good because of Tassie. That's very good. That's very
Yeah.
good. I feel like you could get Tyson to support the Greater Western Sydney
Sydney
Giants.
Giants, yeah.
Should be pretty good. Bob the Titan obviously would love the Giants.
Okay.
The Swans. Piper feels like she would love the Swans because it
yeah.
feels like a Aphrodite-ish
And I
type thing.
do love Piper, so
Great,
I'll
perfect.
definitely take her for my team.
Lovely.
Who else
The
is
Geelong
there?
Cats. I don't know. I think it's a fun
Geelong.
team. Oh, Geelong. That's why. Then why are there two E's?
Okay, so Leo would probably go for the Lions, just name-wise.
Sure, yeah.
Brisbane Lions.
Frank?
Annabeth.
Oh, Annabeth.
What is the smartest team to go for?
Is there a
I
team
mean,
that has
I
like
would
big
say
strategy?
the Swans.
Sure, give her the Swans. Give her the Swans. Give her the
So,
Swans.
like in terms of strategy, it's probably is Geelong Cats. They are the.
They're really good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Historically, very, very good. Did have a terrible grand final. Don't need to touch on that. I mean, I don't go for them, so I don't really care. Or the other one I could see them going for, which really hurts my soul because I hate them, is Hawthorn. I don't know why. I just have that vibe for her.
Are they the Hawks?
The Hawks,
Yeah.
Which we need to get you a jersey for because they just signed a Schubert.
Yeah, they did. I remember I was like, why was I looking into Hawthorn Hawks jerseys recently? Because they
Yes.
drafted a guy whose last name is Schubert. Yeah, got to do it. The reason I was so quick on Geelong or Geelong? Geelong. I was so quick on the Geelong Cats is I always try to make the outfits very like true to the city.
Yes.
So I looked up the Perth city flag and it was like red and white and maybe with some gold in there. Hence
It's a lot of gold
the
and
yellow
black.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I tried to do that for the thing, and then I was looking at my socks and underwear rotation, and I have a pair of what do you call it, boxer shoe? Do you call them pants? I don't know.
No, but no, we're boxers and briefs.
Yeah, so I got a pair that have like cats on them, and I was like, "Oh, is Geelong anywhere near Perth?" It's not. So, because I was like, I don't know the
Victoria.
Perth teams. There's no like because
Yeah.
both Perth teams are not called like the Perth whoever's. It's
Well, the West Coast kind of gives it away.
that does true, but as established, it's a big coast.
It's a big coast.
It's a big coast. It could be from that mining town, 12-hour drive away. This country is enormous. Okay, cool. I feel like that
Yeah, I think
covers.
we
We did
covered it,
quite
yeah.
a great. God, I love it. I'm so sad it's not AFL season. I would have gone to.
Yeah,
so many
I'm
games.
telling him he needs to come back in winter.
Yeah, well, I need to next tour.
Or like spring. So I can take you to my AFLW games.
I'm going to come to the warmest time, but when it's
It's
also
warm-
still because it would be
football
the
season.
the grand final.
Yes.
I'll come to a grand final and I'll be like, "Go Geelong Cats!" Yeah,
They'll probably be there
and they'll be like,
again.
"Nar." Okay, this one is from Jessica. Hi, Mike. With such a large, the subject line is "Show us your socks." So here are the socks. I've already mentioned the color is intentional. This is the logo of the Wu-Tang Clan, which is a rap group from New York. They should all be listening to. They're great. Saw them in concert recently. Delightful. Hi, Mike. With such a large digital footprint, is there anything you wish you could remove from the internet forever? Rice plays, vines, badly aged podcast jokes, etc. So, first off, the Rice Plays, no. My performance in the Midsummer Night's Dream holds up. I watched it recently when I was on tour with Michael Hollis, who was also in that play. And we watched it. I was like, this play is good.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Just check it out. It's
There's
good.
a certain thing with like embarrassing internet stuff, because I've also been on the internet forever, where it's like, yeah, it's embarrassing like 3 years later. And then once you get over that 5-year part, it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, it was 5 years ago. Who cares?
Right.
As long as it's not racist, homophobic, or transphobic, it's fine. Or
Yeah.
ableist too, yeah.
Sure. The good thing is, because I used to be like a big YouTuber, and I put up most of those videos on private, mainly just because I was going through them after Potterless took off, and I was like, I just don't remember what I've said
Yeah.
in these videos.
It's not
Like,
worth the risk.
So there could be something that high school Mike Schubert said, like some sort of joke. I made something where I made light of homeless people. Who knows? So I was just like, I'm just going to private most of these videos.
Yeah.
So thankfully that has been kind of cleared. All my Vines have been deleted thanks to Twitter
Vine.
murdering Vine.
Yeah.
I do have them all on a hard drive though, thankfully. And there's like on my YouTube page is like the top 50 most loops. You can see some of them. Badly aged podcast jokes. So actually like usually with that kind of stuff, I like keeping it in there and then admitting fault if I ever goofed up. And there have been things where I've done it. And like, I think it's important if someone's like listening through, I always try to be transparent with any of my shortcomings so that people can learn from them. The one thing I did go back, I believe I did edit it out just because it was in the first episode of Potterless. And I was listening, it was when I was on tour in Australia last time. I think for the Sydney and Melbourne shows, I did like listening to the first and second episodes of Potterless and commenting on them because I never revisited them.
Right. Yeah.
That's at least what I did in Melbourne. And I listened to the first episode and it was something with the Dursleys and I just like didn't like the way that I talked about the Dursley family because I didn't like pick up on the fat phobia as bad as it was until a little into the pod, and I just kind of like went along with it and just like was calling them like Mr. and Mrs. Fatty or something, and I was just like out of context, like. If someone's listening to this for the first time, I don't want them to get the wrong impression. So I was just like, that's the one thing that I actually like went back and deleted because you can like re-upload podcast episodes, which is nice if there's like a big error in there with the way RSS feeds work. So yeah, I think there's nothing like that I really want to delete forever that I haven't already covered. There have been, I've been on Twitter long enough that like I can't just like scroll back all the way to the beginning. I probably should do the thing where you like delete, but I think you can't now. It's really hard. Before Elon used to be able to like pay for a service that would like delete all tweets before certain era.
Like it just doesn't work, and it's like. I have had the same Twitter account since I was 13. And so it's not something bad in there. It's more just I have like thousands of tweets talking about, this is going to be a very Australian reference, the band Shortstack. And I would like to be able to delete those.
What is...
They're a very like cringy emo band from the, what did I say before?
The Ooze.
The Ooze,
Ooze. I did into Twitter, like when TweetDeck worked better, you could like search for your tweet in words. So I did have a run where I just searched like any slur or any like potentially dodgy word where I was like, I never called like a woman a B word, right? Like I just like searched everything, anything. I was even just searching like anything that could be dodgy. So I just had an afternoon where I was like, let me look up at Shoop17 any word that could be bad. And like thankfully there was nothing in there, but I was like, I gotta do my due diligence.
People love to do that to me where they will go through and just search any slur within whatever I tweeted before, because I will say things about football teams and people take that really personally.
Yeah.
And one I had as a queer woman was people getting mad at me for using the word gay. And I was like, but I am. So,
No, people will do that. They do that to like draft picks on sports teams. They'll like search every slur in their name. So I was like, I don't want someone to get mad at something that I've said in Potter. It's like, oh my, I said fish and chips are a children's menu item, which they are. Maybe someone gets really mad and then looks for bad tweets. So yeah, I did my due diligence. This one's from Jane. The subject line is phlebotomy in Perth. So another person on the phlebotomy train.
Do we have a lot of phlebotomists in the crowd tonight? Like, how did you guys both come up with that?
People are smart. Nerdy crowd. Love it. So Jane says, hi, Mike and Polly. The Perth rivalry tends to be north of the river versus south of the river. Obviously superior. I'm taking no stance here. Dockers for life. My question is, who would win in a fight between Percy and Zagreus? I believe we've covered this, but there is an alternate question. Which cabin do you think the main cast of Pride and Prejudice would be in? We've definitely done Pride and Prejudice stuff, but I don't know that we have done what cabin they would be in. So Lizzie, I feel... Lizzie is are you a Pride and Prejudice fan?
Very base level.
Okay. Lizzie, she's so wise that I want to put her in Athena.
She feels like Aphrodite to me.
But she's like, she does romance the right way, but she's not enthralled with it. So she could be like a Piper Aphrodite.
That's the thing. Like there's all different ways that love presents, and Lizzie kind of feels like she falls under that category.
Darcy, I'm gonna put in the cabin 9, the Hephaestus cabin, because of the whole like I don't do well interfacing with human beings, and that feels like Darcy. Jane's just so nice and sweet that I want to put her into one of the cabins. We don't know as much about them except for like their godly representation, but like Hestia was so delightful, but she's not going to have any, like there wouldn't be any Hestia campers. Same thing with like Artemis. So
she does feel like an Artemis archer.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not
she's a hunter. Yeah, let's make Jane a hunter. I like that. And then Wickham, I don't know if I have a good enough read on Wickham. Isn't he just like, I don't know. Because he's just kind of like cheery and upbeat, right?
Yeah, who's the most... they're there, cabin.
I don't know. Maybe
Apollo?
like Apollo? Yeah, I don't know. I need to like brush up on my Wickham specifically a little bit more. And then Jane says that they've attached photos of pigeons supporting the pod in the beer garden below. Oh, great. Love it. Yay.
They're very like not like pigeons I've seen before.
They look very unique. They're very
Yeah.
like, I don't know, Perth pigeons. They have like interesting feather patterns.
Yeah.
I love seeing pigeons around the world. That's why they're so fun. All right, this one's from, is it Bronte? Bronte. Okay, Bronte. Sorry, I was too big on season 2 where there was Bronte, the character. Oh, you were like, not again, because I'm sure you get it a lot, right? And now, okay. But now you're going to get it worse with season 2. Like, everyone's going to think they're like, I didn't write those books. Yeah, okay, anyway. So Bronte in the subject line writes, thank you for finally coming to Perth. Hi, Mike. Love the pod. Have been listening since pre-TNO and the She Who Must Not Be Named era, and you've been my number one podcaster for nearly 10 years. Woo. What's been your favorite Australian animal you've seen? Have you encountered any drop bears? I know about drop bears. I know about it. What's been your favorite animal that you've seen? I love a platypus. As a kid, I was big into, as we call them in the States, duck-billed platypuses.
Which is so strange to me that they just added extra words for some
Right,
reason.
because it's not like we have a second platypus type that you have to distinguish from. It's like, no, these are the duck-billed
No, you guys
ones.
do. His name is Perry.
Oh, sure. But yeah, I loved them as kids. I just thought it was cool. It's like they're a mammal, but they lay eggs and they have like a little poison thing. Cool.
They're monotremes.
And what's fun, I have a fun like Australian connection to them. When we went to the zoo last time around before the lions escaped, we were looking at the platypuses or platypi, and there were a bunch of workers from the zoo looking at them in the little, tank area, and they were super excited. And the reason they were super excited is that they were mating, which is apparently very rare. I guess like panda bears, you want them to mate, and they're just like, it's very rare. So like there's a bunch of just nerdy zoo employees being like, they're getting it on. This is so cool. And I was like, should we give them privacy? Like, I guess it's cool, but they were like, this almost never happens. You are so lucky to witness this. And I was like, okay. I feel like I shouldn't be.
Now, you should have gone back this time just to see if the offspring.
There's a little tiny baby.
Yeah,
would have been so cute. Would have been so cute. Okay, this one is from Kira and Christina. Subject line, Perth has the best beaches. Hey, from the front row in Perth, where you at? Hello. Hey, from the front row in Perth. Throughout the years, you've come up with so many questions to ask Rick when he comes on the pod. Is there any questions that you chickened out of asking him? So I didn't chicken out in the interview, but I was close to. So basically, I only had 5 minutes for that Juckin interview. So it's really hard. Like, there's so many questions you want to ask. I want to keep them to about Sea of Monsters. Don't want to ask like anything that's too long. Like, you have to be very precious and quick. You get like 3 or 4 questions in. The one thing that I would love to have asked about, but was afraid to do so before sitting down, was about blackjack and the pronoun stuff, because I didn't want Rick to be like, oh my God, I get it. I forgot. Like, can we stop talking about this? But when I got in there, and this sadly wasn't recorded by the footage, but when I got in there, they say something like, okay, Rick, this is Mike from the News Olympian. And he goes, oh, the News Olympian, you just released those trans icon blackjack shirts, right? And I was like, oh yeah. He's like, and I said like, oh, you're like, you're not upset about that? He's like, I love it. I think it's so funny. And we like talked about that for a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, I'm so glad you're good sport. He's like, no, I love it. The fandom is just run with it. It's great. So that gave me the confidence to ask him when we actually did the interview. It was good because I didn't think I was going to get to all the questions, but he was very efficient. So I had the time to ask him.
Well, media trained.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. And then I got to ask him about it. And I'm glad I did, because I think I only posted 2 of the questions as reels, but that one like exploded. And then like people were writing articles about it and like referencing me, like saying things like, oh, in a recent...
They referenced you. Like,
I loved it. It was like, in a recent stint on the News Olympian podcast, Rick wrote and confirmed. It was like, oh, wow, cool. Very official. So yeah, I'm so glad that I like happened to post that on social media. I'm assuming Becky showed him and then he remembered, because like I certainly wouldn't have asked him. I would have chickened out for sure. But knowing that he's such a good sport, now I won't feel bad asking him some of these, kind of questions. Okay, I want to hear your opinion on this. So this one is from, is it Regan? Okay, Regan, subject line, AFL sucks, Rugby Union is better, up the All Blacks.
So I'm assuming you're a Kiwi. Yeah, okay. Well, that's actually not that surprising being in Perth, because they have a pretty big South African contingency here, and they obviously support Rugby Union more. I am someone who works in sport and does a lot of work for Rugby Union, and I actually do a lot of work for the All Blacks, so I do have a big soft spot for the All Blacks, but look, I say Rugby Union is better than Rugby League, so you're not wrong. But AFL will always have my heart, so...
I have not been to a rugby union match. I have been to an AFLW match, and it was delightful. I've been to rugby when I lived in France, and it was so fun. So I am also very pro rugby. So
Yes.
I'm just happy. But the question from Regan is, hey, Jubes, not a Percy Jackson question, but as someone who's about to be a first-time dad, have you got any good advice that you would give out?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That is awesome. It's tough because there's like all these different advice. There's all these different things that you can like read and learn about and think about. I think a big thing for me is just like managing expectations and just kind of like going in knowing that things are going to change. And just like anytime you do something that is potentially going to be a hiccup, know that it is going to be, certain things are going to be tough. Before it happens, like know that your sleep schedule is going to get wrecked. Before you travel, know that like going in a car or going in a plane is going to be hard. If you kind of go into a tough situation, like already like mentally preparing for things to be really hard, it will be easier for you to enjoy the great moments that come along with it. And that's good because when people say like you blink and the kid is going to college, like, yeah, it's just, there's so many things that just change along the way that you really just got to like cherish every single moment. And I think what helps you do that is by like preparing for the hard stuff so that when you're doing the more fun things, you can be more in the moment about the fun stuff. That would be what I would say. All right, let's do a funny one. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So this one is from Bella. Bella says, Perth Q&A, West is best. Hey, Mike and Polly, longtime listener, first time live show. The other day I was at the beach and lost a sentimental family gold ring in the sand. Aww. Having Hazel's power of finding precious metals would have been so much easier than getting my friends to buy and bring me a metal detector, which luckily was a success in locating the ring after 30 minutes. So my question is, have you ever been in a predicament where one of the seven's powers or skills would have really come in handy in saving the day? So it's funny is like, yeah, where are you at, Bella? Hello. So this like exact situation happened to me. So when I was on tour in Australia and New Zealand last time, people at the Auckland show, Michaela and a couple of her friends, gifted me a punamu necklace, like the green little swervy stone. And I used to wear it all the time. And I wore it to the beach at this trip in New Jersey. And before I would go into the water, I would like take it off and put it like in my hat and go in the water and come back because I didn't want to lose it in the water. I think we moved chairs at one point because the tide was coming in and I forgot that it was in my hat. And I think it like slipped out the back of my hat and into the sand. And then we were at the beach for like hours and hours. And then when we were leaving, we just like couldn't find it. And my family and family friends were so sweet and that like they combed the beach for like 30 minutes. And we were just like, well, we were here. We used to be all the way there here. So they would just like went very methodically, just like literally just like digging all the way. And then finally, one of my friend's mom, Mary Jo, just eventually, because I was telling everyone like, guys, just don't worry about it. It's fine. Like we looked for so long. I'm so like people were like on their knees, like digging and sifting. I was like, guys, please, I feel so bad. This is so stupid. I'm so sorry. And then Mary Jo just very nonchalantly goes, here you go, Michael, and handed it to me. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, if I was able to detect it, that would have been great because it's just like, I don't know, my parents and the Delaney's parents, like they're in their 60s and they're all like on their knees, like digging in the sun.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, please. I feel so
It's the worst
stupid.
feeling when people are like overly nice to you when you do something stupid. You're like, not that was stupid, like that just happened.
Right, yeah.
But like, you know, it's just one of those situations where I've been similar situations where you're like, I don't want you guys to try and fix the problem I caused.
Yeah, I even felt bad when we had a snafu with breakfast this morning. And we like walked a thing over to, there was a whole
yeah. We thought we were staying at the same hotel. We weren't staying at the same hotel. I bought Shoes a smoothie. I was like, well, I'm in the lobby. He's like, I'm in the lobby.
And then you're like, I'll walk it over to you. I was like, no.
And I was like, I'm not going to drink a smoothie, Tubes. I'm just going to bring it to you.
Is that what what would be your answer for a power to save the day?
Power. I feel like either Thalia or Jason would be good in a power outage, just to be able to like
that'd be really nice.
Be your own generator.
Yeah. Or if you're on a, let's just say hypothetically, Virgin Australia flight that doesn't have chargers.
You can't charge a laptop. My Switch died on my flight. So yeah, that would have been nice.
Would have been good.
Yeah.
Bella ends with, highly recommend coming to Western Australia again and exploring the Southwest. The wineries and beaches are unparalleled. I would love to. I'd love to return. But for now, that's the end of the show. Thank you all so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. This has been such a blast. You all have been a lovely crowd. Give it up to Polly for being an incredible guest. Give it up to Tess running the merch table, which you can still visit on your way out. Give it up to Noah, who was running sound. And everyone here at the Leaderville Comedy Club, everybody organizing and putting together. This was great. The vibes here, electric. So much fun. So this is so great. And of course, shout out to Kelly for watching the baby and making this all feasible so that we can make the show happen. This has been so much fun. I'm so glad that I answered the call, the repeated comments of come to Perth, because this has been so fun. I had such a delightful time. You've all been lovely. But until next time, when I hopefully return to Perth, the next tour, and it's not like this whole big to-do, I would love to come back because this has been a delight. Until then, thanks so much for coming out, everybody!
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of The Newest Olympian. This podcast is created, hosted, and produced by me, Mike Schubert. I also run the social media and the website. Our editor is Sherry Guo. The music is by Bettina Campamanes and Brendan Krugel, and the art is by Jessica E. Boyd. If you can't get enough of the show, you can go to thenewestolympian.com/Patreon for bonus episodes, bonus content, ad-free episodes, a whole bunch of fun stuff. If you want to interact with the community around the show, you can check out the Discord, which is available to all patrons, or we're on social media. We're at Newest Olympian on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter. And we've got a subreddit, reddit.com/r/thenewestolympian. You can also show your love for TNO by getting TNO merch at thenewestolympian.com/merch. Of course, want to give a huge shout out to our producer level patrons, Kelsey Gillespie, Vicky Garcia, Frida Vikstrom, Megan Moon, Polly Burridge, Nikki Harris, Tatiana Schmidt, Sandra Rose, Josh Sayer, Sam Ruby, Mrs. O'Leary, Milo Kim, Sandkopf, Rayla Matthews, Sky Mallory, Mick Walters, Grace, Ginger Spursboy, Bradimus Prime, Skylar Sisters, Scott Sheldon, Ann M. Thayer Cohen, Bella, Percy Jacked Son, Kit Kat Crumbs, Jim Jam Koopy, Andrea, not Andrea, Jordan Ray, Nico's Black, Vespa, Zayden Wintergate, Terry Rothfuzz, Certified Ghost King's emotional support friend, Lee Hartley, Persasabeth, and Alex DeLong. If you want to support the show in a non-monetary way, word of mouth is essential for podcast growth. You can tell a friend directly, say, hey, there's this Percy Jackson podcast I think you would like, check it out. You could leave a rating and review on whatever podcasting app you're using, or you could just talk about the show on social media. All these things really do help. I really appreciate anyone who has done so in the past, and I appreciate anyone who will do so in the future. But I'm just so thankful that you tuned into this episode, and I hope you tune into our next episode, where we'll be joined once again by Polly Burridge, this time in Melbourne, Australia, to cover chapters 15 through 17 of The House of Hades. But until then, I'll see you later. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, ASMR Mike. So while I was here in the Shubio, Kelly and the baby came home from their walk, their aforementioned walk, and Kelly, I could hear, had come in and was confused by me not being in the apartment. So she was calling out to me, and I was trying to scream out to get her attention. But it's hard because the Shubio is quite tucked away in our place, and I had a bunch of doors closed to try and block sound. But so here's me trying to get her attention.
I'm in the studio. Hi! Kelly! Dang it. How is the sound block?
Thank you so much for listening.